Welcome back to some professional StarCraft 2 with double the professionals than you're used to. Yes, a 2 versus 2 final. Wardy putting on a 2v2 tournament, bringing the people together. And I'm excited to introduce in this best of 3 here, 4 of the best and most exciting players. Let me go around the horn. It's going to take some time. First, the arguable best Protoss from America. I mean, Neeb's still giving him a run for his money, but Neeb stepping aside, it seems. So get used to hearing about Team Alpha X's Astrea. His North American counterpart, the Mexican Terran from Storm Gaming, Juanito. Special. On the other side. So, important to note, Brazilian player, but I believe last I heard of, he was staying in the Netherlands at the Team Liquid house, but I'm not sure if that's still true. That was a while ago. Things change. But the Terran player Kelazhur, one of the few rivals of Special in the Latin American region. Well, South American as well. I'm not exactly sure how that works out. Not important, because the elusive yet inspirational, the dangerous yet patient, the Dane yet Protoss. That one isn't really mutually exclusive. It's MaxPax for Storm Gaming. Astrea doing a MaxPax build here to start. Looks like we got the control group overlay a little screwed up on this one, but you get a better view of it. And, of course, Twitch chat. Tell me your feelings. Who's going to win? Give me a lull in the chat for Team America. And any bad emote for Team Europe. And I'm including Kelazhur with Team Europe here. Just something bad. Anyways, Astrea taking the gold base, recalling his probe. Specials Reaper boxing out the Reaper of Astrea, which just got scouted by Kelazhur. And we're just going to have to really get used to the colors of each team, because there's a Terran and Protoss on each one. Actually, we could probably use team colors. Wait, give me... I forgot how to do the team colors. No, we'll just get used to it. Alright? If you can't cast a 2v2, what's even the point of casting StarCraft at all? Because 2v2 has been ignored as a game mode for like 10 years. Shut up! Emerald City, one of the community-made maps, is actually one of the more macro-oriented 2v2 maps. Oh, here's the Reaper and the Hellion. Astrea with the Adept and Specials Terran units joining him. Kelazhur coming in, helping to box out. Is that a... What? A proxy fusion core double starport proxy battlecruiser. Well, things are going to get more and more dramatic as time goes on. Bunch of adepts. Astrea going to try to force the issue on the ground while Special goes for one base double BC. Remember, after about 4.5 minutes, it used to be, I believe, 5 minutes, but now Legacy of the Void time, they can trade resources. I don't know if it'll show up on the observer interface, but Astrea could potentially send resources to Special to pump out those battlecruisers a little bit quicker. We're still a little bit off the time you can do that, but that is one of the less explored parts of 2v2. Though plenty of the ladder heroes, what few there are, definitely know about that strategy. The feeding strat, essentially. Well, one battlecruiser is on the way. Team Europe decided to expand. Yeah, technically they could share control, but if I know StarCraft players, and if I know why Archon mode failed, that's not really in the cards. It's very unlikely, at least at this stage of the game. Neither player needs or wants to give up control of their units, especially to their teammate who plays a different race. Oh, looks like the Widowmine got a kill. Yamato Cannon is on the way. We're starting it off with double battlecruiser, like 2v2, because unlike your average 2v2, it's actually the Terran player going for the air ball. And by air ball, I mean just double battlecruiser, but, well, 2 Void Rays, not quite. Well, did they notice the SCV? I don't believe they did. Usually the Protoss is the one who goes for air control, as obviously the Stargate, a very strong choice, but here we see Adepts battling on the ground. The battle, I think he's just going to hold on to them until at least Yamato is done. Void Rays on the other side. MaxPax going to get the first glimpse of something going down. Adepts chase down the Marines. Void Rays uncontested in the sky, but the battlecruisers of Special sauntering in underneath the tree line. And yes, there's a fleet beacon. Yes, there's a shield battery, but yes, there's Yamato cannon. He's targeting the battery. Wait, I take it back. Yamato isn't quite done yet. Meanwhile, the Void Rays on the other side recalled back. Void Rays should be able to burn down these battlecruisers, but they do have tactical jump because he built them on this side of the map. Meanwhile, Adepts are shading into the natural. Battlecruisers chased down by the Void Rays. Going to require the tactical jump. Gets out of there after the prismatic alignment. Adepts on top of the tank, drawing some friendly fire. And Team America, so far, not able to get critical damage done. The worker count. Astrea has 52 probes. 50. I mean, he took a gold base. Don't forget, this started with a gold. The Yamato. Where's the fusion core? The fusion core died. But Yamato was not denied. Jumps away. The fadeaway Yamato cannon. The starports will die, but everything seems to stabilize. Astrea going to match. Triple Stargate of his own. +1 air weapons for MaxPax alongside Flux Veins. Mag Field Accelerator for the Cyclones on either side. Begun. The Clone War has. It is now a battle for control. The 4 Yamato cannon ready battle cruisers can definitely tilt a fight. You just got to be careful. There's a lot of cooldowns to manage on both sides. Tactical jump, Yamato cannon, recall. That's most of it. But all those things on either side are on the table, and the order and time at which they're used are very, very important because it's 2v2. You can have one player with an entire ground army covering for another's air army. You rarely get such, I'm going to say, pure unit compositions, which sounds like maybe not the word, but still seems to fit. Yamato chasing down the Cyclones. One gets a cannon, gets a siege tank, a Cyclone. Void Rays show up. Battlecruisers jump away. The ultimate blink. Protoss, eat your heart out. Well, Astrea's mining out of the gold. Astrea has taken full use of this. 72. I don't know why I started with a 4. There's multiple 4s in the production tab, but 4 Phoenixes, 4 probes at a time. Astrea macroing harder than pretty much the rest of the players combined. Wait, does this tab work? Do we have the income tab thing? Doesn't work, unfortunately. Recall, but Phoenixes, a cost-efficient choice against the Void Rays. Meanwhile, Hellions looking for an opportunity. Cyclone battlecruiser gonna deny it. Okay. At this stage, Twitch chat, once again, real choice. Give me a lull for Juanito and Team America. Give me anything else for Team Europe with MaxPax and Kelazhur. Seeing the supplies. MaxPax and Kelazhur looking good on their composition, but Astrea's exploding economically. I'm completely unbiased, but I'm definitely rooting for Special, objectively. I love the way he plays mech, and because it's 2v2, he actually gets to play it, as opposed to has to keep making allowances. Oh, the Cyclones knock down a battle cruiser. Tactical jump is online for the rest, though. Loses one cruiser. Can jump away. Hasn't decided to do so with that bruised one. Does now. Oh, MaxPax lights him up. Gets 2 out of 4 battle cruisers away. Wow, those Void Rays. That's a lot of damage. What are the upgrades now? +1 air. I mean, the upgrades for Sky Toss are incredibly important. The upgrades for ground mech in this exact scenario, heavy on Cyclones, are actually not very important at all. Most of the damage from Cyclones is technically ability damage, and the damage from Hellions is... the upgrades are kind of irrelevant compared to Blue Flame, which Kelazhur is currently getting. +2 mech weapons as well. We'll see if there are any Thors. Yes, Kelazhur opting for Thors because, much like your mother, Thors are so heavy that Phoenixes cannot lift them. A significant boon. And also with that explosive air damage, they're able to... oh my god. I can't go to that camera. That one doesn't work. It's the player cam. Because of the anti-light damage. Designed for mutas, but works perfectly well against Phoenix's fucking lasers, am I right? Lasers! Ah! I have no idea what's happening. I can't tell who's winning that fight. I'm pretty sure the Phoenixes are doing well, but it's quite hard to tell. Meanwhile, battle cruisers. Well, Widow mines, those are specials mines, though. They let the Phoenixes fly over before the Void Rays can light up. Here comes another round. The Cyclones on the low ground. Prismatic alignment immediately canceled to get away, but the Thor's javelin missiles looking for an opportunity, blasting away the Phoenixes. Oh, another... I have no idea how these fights are going to go. You rarely see this particular set of unit compositions. If you look at the supply, Astrea is maintaining. He's got carriers on the way. He's got 85 probes, which is why his supply is a little misleading. Compare that to 69 workers of MaxPax, 68 at Kelazhur. They know what they're targeting. Special right around that number as well. Meanwhile, MaxPax is adding in the carriers of his own. He now has the benefit of taking the gold base later in the game, which means that economic boost will come later in the game, but also the vulnerability. Special with a tank line, building turrets like it's the campaign over here. A scan, yep, he's building carriers. I don't know what you thought. Both sides have Terrans to scan what the pesky Protoss are doing. The fleets are coming together, as are the defenses. So, the slight difference in style here. It appears Kelazhur is opting for the more Thor siege tank-based mech, whereas Special has the Cyclones. So the unit composition of Team America is still a lot more mobile, but slightly more fragile than that of Team Europe. You know what? We can come up with better names for them. No, I like Team America, but Kelapex. That sounds pretty cool. Something that has like good syllables that I can pronounce. Kelapex is pretty cool. Team America, on the other hand, is the best we're gonna get. I could not come up with anything for Astrea Special. Come on. Well, Cyclones, that lock-on mag field accelerator blasting through the planetary. Void Rays picked off. Cyclone as well. The Thors with a mixed bag of both single target and splash damage anti-air, and I think that's partially intentional. As you do want the ability to actually take out units, but the splash damage is important as well against the Phoenixes. Rarely do you want to have a mixed bag in your Thor weapons. This is maybe one of the few times, especially with battlecruisers and carriers on the field. Alright, well, a recall! A huge recall! Carriers have arrived! Void... Ah! 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 Okay. I'm not I think it's about even. The supplies are similar. Hellions getting through. Actually, well, Special has a lot of money in the bank. What are the upgrades looking like? Meanwhile, the Hellions and the Cyclones showing their mobility here. That recall was used. Thor is trying to blast through, but Special's tanks, you know he loves his tanks. On the low ground. The carriers coming to defend Kelazhur's base from Special's Cyclone Hellion. Meanwhile, MaxPax is covering... Wait, no. Oh my god, all Protoss look alike to me. Some of my best friends are Protoss. Astrea is covering Special's tank line with the carriers. So, some real teamwork happening here. It's not Team USA, it's Team America, as in North America. Okay, to be clear, as Special is carrying his weight as well. Alright. Kelazhur's mothership. Carriers blasting. Get that upgrade tab. Get that production tab out of here. That's irrelevant. Look at the supplies. Well, actually, Kelazhur is surprisingly little. He's been struggling economically. That battle cruiser racked up 22 kills and constant annoyance. Cyclones blasted away. Kelazhur's dwindling in supply here. The mothership doing what it can. Time warp, seeing actual usage in a real game, like a unicorn, but multiple. Meanwhile, the Thors in splash damage mode. More Thors in single target. They're blasting a lot of things. The carrier, the interceptors. Whoa! Where did all the carriers go? MaxPax ended up with way more carriers. I think the interceptors got wiped out. And the Thors, the support Thors on top of the mothership action. Suddenly, Team America. Wow. Okay, I think that that fight would require 3 rewatches from each perspective to see exactly what was going on. But the end result is MaxPax keeps his interceptors and his carriers. And Team America keeps nothing. They lost everything. Yeah, Hellbats. Oh my god. Mediocre in the best of times. Turrets doing what they can, the Widowmine. And now Kelazhur has an opportunity. The map is more open now. We're starting to run out of bases. It is a 2v2 map. There are plenty of bases, but eventually, especially with players of this caliber, those minerals start to dry up. The units lost is confusing and difficult to read, so we'll have to just look at the unit count here. The Thor count. Special liked what he saw with those Thors. He thought that was a good idea. He said, thank you for the tip. Special has +3/+1 against just +3 at Kelazhur. Meanwhile, 3-2 in the skies for the Protoss across the board. Wait, this is Astrea's base. Okay. The carriers, the interceptor count is 88 to 64. Special has 12 Thors. He's gone all in, and either way, it's time to Ragnarok and roll. MaxPax should know all about the dangers. A Danish player looking into the main. The Stargate's vulnerable. Shut down. Special, where are you going? You can't recall Thors. Yeah, the Stargate production eliminated. MaxPax, he's waiting on that recall. Special, well, Team America trying to intercept Kelazhur's army. Gets a Void Ray for their trouble. Hellions are showing up. Is this a base trade? I mean, yes, but it's like carving out a pumpkin with a shovel right now. Interference matrix, actual Raven usage, disables the tanks, pounding forward, carrier Thor, recall, dangerous recall, empty armor missile, devastating damage, Juanito Dorito dust. The Thors blasting away, the Thors on each side, so many Thors. But this time, Team America looks like they're blasting through. The Thor count is too damn high, though the carrier's dwindling on either side. The supplies, well, MaxPax blown out of the sky, but the same can be said here for Astrea. The carrier count down to 1 versus 4. Neither of them really have interceptors. It's just the Terrans who survive the battle. The Thor count, 10 to 16 of special, but they take their sweet, sweet time getting there. And that is quite a choke point on the high ground. The upgrades are technically even, as practical as that is to use. Kelazhur is actually mining a lot. When the minerals get thin, carriers are proven to be a rich man's unit. That is quite the optimistic probe transfer from MaxPax. Under fire, no high ground vision, pulling back some tanks, a couple of Hellions showing up on the left flank. Carriers cleaning up the gold, MaxPax running out of places to mine from. Tempest in production. Finally something that doesn't cost minerals every time you fight. 5 Tempests at a time. Not a horrible choice against the Thors if you also have some on your side. Oh, the anti-armor missile, but I don't know if they can force a fight. So getting the Raven. The Raven anti-armor missile did, I assume, a large amount. It seems like it should have in that previous fight. It's kind of hard to tell because it doesn't really hit the interceptors. And Thors hit really hard. Oh, anyways, I guess we're fighting, even with the anti-armor, as they seize an opportunity. Kettlepax moving down the ramp. The Void Rays getting blasted out of the sky, but providing cover for the Thors. Team America coming back, but it's not enough units. More Thors to the front line, bashing through one another. And at the end of the day, oh my, those Hellions a little late. Well, where does this leave us? MaxPax has 5 Tempests, 1 Void Ray, 14 probes, and a Dream. Astrea and Special are both over 100 supply. I don't think there's very much time to wait here for Kettlepax, especially with Void Rays burning through the only fresh mining base. Oh, the Tempest might force the issue, but those are bruised Thors. There's a lot of tanks, but Astrea is still mining pretty comfortably from the upper right part of the map. So Astrea can replace, well, building Void Rays now. A scan from Special Scouts. There's really nowhere else to go. Kelazhur found another base. The middle base here, very exposed. Okay. The boys are pulled alongside the army. So Kelazhur and his little brother Protoss MaxPax against the combined Team America forces. Oh, an anti-armor missiles, a force multiplier dragging it over the tanks as well. All the tanks are sieged. This is it, though. We're fighting. The Void Ray is taking horrible damage. Terrible, terrible, terrible damage. But the Thor's pounding through underneath. The tank's doing a lot. The tanks may be enough to turn the tide. There actually wasn't high ground vision for a moment there. And somehow Team Kettlepax will hold. The concave of siege tanks seems to have helped out a significant amount. Yeah, tank at the front, auto turret getting used. The tank's still doing a lot of damage. Even a Hellbat getting involved. Thor taken out. Everybody just trickling in whatever's left. Somehow they survive. But just when it feels like you're making progress, that's when half a dozen more carriers show up and force you to tap out of the match. Yep, that is approximately too many carriers right there. There's nothing left in the tank for Kettlepax. There's no money. MaxPax has less probes than he started with. Not a good sign. A Void Rays, enough to cover. They're not tapping out yet. They'll fight to the last. It's not like Astrea and Special have a lot. But match 1 goes to Team North America with a significant display of teamwork. I'm not really sure how to judge it. It's kind of hard to tell. But they definitely had the better lasers at the end of the day. And that's what's important. It seems mech carrier, battle carrier lords. Oh no. You know what? Actually, this is good. This is good. They changed colors, but they did it in a way that makes more sense. So that is helpful, guys. Thank you. Yeah. I mean, very fun to watch. It's fun to see something different, but still high level. No. And that's what we're seeing here. All right. Put your support in the chat. Give me a Kappa Ross for Team Kelazhur. And give me a smiley face for Team America. Team America also in the chat. It's the incorrect emote though, so doesn't count. You must spam this emote to pass. The probe? Ah yes, the combined wall-off. This is demonstrating why people don't play Zerg very much in team games. Because you know what you can't do? Is build on creep. Creeps creep, as they say. And that means, you kind of screw over your teammate by existing as a Zerg. That is why. And I mean, the Zerg army in general is not as good at 200 supply versus any larger amount. Like that, there's just not as many force multipliers. It feels like the Zerg army is more built around that 1v1. In general, it's been a while since I watched any even higher level 2v2, but Zerg is kind of the effectively the all-in race in team games, unless you're willing to drag it out to the full Turtle late game, but okay, so Special in Astrea, Team America in the red, Team Kelazhur in the blue, and blue adjacent, teal, cyan, teal, aquamarine, no. So, two Stargates for Astrea, one Stargate for MaxPax. Last I checked, two is more than one, but the one Stargate did finish faster. The Terran's gonna battle it out. MaxPax now adding a second Stargate, so this is a little more along the lines of your typical 2v2. With the Air Wars starting off immediately. We're no longer dancing and prancing around with battle cruisers. The daintiest of bathtubs. No. The Phoenix Wars have begun. Who will rise and who will be left as ash? Alright, the Widowmine was spotted. MaxPax didn't want to commit to lifting it up because then he becomes vulnerable. The Scout. But you know what has as much range as a Phoenix? Did you say Phoenix? Correct. Thus the issue. Special going for Cloak Banshee. Oh. Come with me, Marine. Oh, like a buddy cop movie? Yeah, totally. Well, I wouldn't mind cleaned up. Fleet Beacon immediately. We are on heavy artillery, which does have a double ramp. AK, you can wall off at least one expansion with a single ramp. So that does limit the aggressive potential on the ground. And that, I think, is much of what has contributed to the double Fleet Beacon. Though, Special taking a big risk with potentially a huge payoff. And going for Cloaked Banshee against Mass Phoenix. Remember, there's still a Terran. Kelazhur can scan for MaxPax. Phoenix range is on the way. This is an advanced version of the eternal PvP battle in the Phoenix Wars. We don't see that too much in 1v1 nowadays. But, flashbacks to the intense laser battles where you have about a quarter second to judge exactly how many Phoenixes your opponent has. Banshee. At the back base here, MaxPax drags his Phoenixes back, which means Astrea will be able to move in. The scan, Kelazhur, alley-ooping it. But, no, there just are not. There's not the Phoenix. Oh, be careful with that. Phoenix range is now done for Astrea. There is that thin window of range. Oh, Phoenix range is done, which means MaxPax has to be very careful for like 10 more seconds. MaxPax actually has more Phoenixes, but if you can't hit your opponent, then it kind of defeats the purpose of that. So MaxPax has range done. Astrea. So this is one of those games that can definitely end in like 1 second. Like one Widow Mine hit, one Phoenix fight. There's a very tense amount of units on the field. Kelazhur being a great teammate, building turrets at the back of the mineral line, mostly for detection, but like zoning out the Banshees and the Phoenixes. You know, that's something Protoss don't usually have access to. You know, it's missile turrets. Whoop. Banshee looking for more. So real teamwork here. Astrea adding 2 more Stargates to Stargate Command. Cyclone shows up, knocks down the Banshee, so MaxPax can go about the business of desperately searching to get a 1 Phoenix advantage on Astrea. Oh, but the Widow Mines. The Banshee. Oh no, the scan will hit both, but the Widow Mines! Huge connection! I'm not sure how much of that was intentional and how much of that just worked out perfectly. But the Widow Mine's hitting and stripping the shields away is a huge deal in this fight. There's another Widow Mine up here. Gonna get the Cyclone, a pretty juicy target. Another mine dragged into a Marine. The Hellions on the high ground. The Phoenix is playing will they, won't they, with murdering each other. There's just not that many Marines here, but they are covered by siege tanks. A handful of Hellions. It's all about the Phoenixes, though. Make no mistake. Everything else is just foreplay until it's Thor play. And right now, I don't think an armory is even done for either side. I take it back. An armory done for Kelazhur. No Widow Mines, though, means no potential cook. Here we go! Lasers! Ah! Okay, well. MaxPax ahead 1 Phoenix, ahead 2 Phoenixes. Astrea's rally point not looking amazing. Both sides starting to add missile turrets to the fray. Oh, cancels there. I think Astrea misjudging the Phoenix count by a bit as the lasers start unleashing upon one another as they both travel in packs to hide their numbers. A legitimate and actually solid strategy. Oh, 1 missile turret. Another bout of heated conversation exchanged. Astrea definitely not getting the better end of these fights. All right, well, that 1 Marine really trying to help. Well, MaxPax realizes, oh, wait a second. Somehow Astrea actually comes out on top there. Meanwhile, Hellions! Wow, getting into the mineral line. Some Widow Mines. Not sure what they hit. Those were the Widow Mines of Kelazhur. SCVs all over the place. Wait, we just saw the very rare Hellion getting hit in the air by a missile turret move as the Phoenixes lifted up the Hellions in missile turret range. A classic move. All these interactions we never get to see. Oh, we have another opportunity. The tank standoff. The old Mexican standoff, says Special. It's like, you're sieged. Close enough. Phoenix hits. Well, Phoenix is hit, rather. Reinforcements. Reinforcing Phoenixes. What is the... Okay, the Phoenix count is heavily in favor of Astrea, but who knows how many are out on the field. No, Widow Mines! He didn't see him! Oh, no! Huge hits. MaxPax can chase. And if he can somehow close the distance, because remember, Phoenixes are as fast as Phoenixes, real damage can be dealt. Special needs to repair Astrea's Phoenixes. Okay? This is This is the only time you can repair things, is when you have a Terran teammate. Add it to the list. Meanwhile, the tank battle continues as the turrets stand off. No, get out. Recall. Recall while you still can. He's trying to fight near the super turret that nobody figured out how to use. I have no idea. Here we go. I think Astrea's losing this one. He doesn't have nearly enough Phoenixes on the field. They're not even all attacking. Oh, that's a bit of a disaster. Astrea has one adept besides his Phoenixes, which is not very much. It's not like MaxPax. His army is 75 probes and 14 Phoenixes, so it's not like he's a particularly diverse army. Ah, Thor is here. Well, all right. Give me those lulls for Team America. But Kelazhur, some Pog champs. Because right now, MaxPax is dancing in the skies and Astrea getting gunned down, but special! Coming in for another round, Blue Flame done. Phoenix is chasing, the missile turret's helping out. Both players need to realize they can repair. I think Astrea's Phoenixes got repaired, I'm pretty sure here. The standoff continues. Kelazhur trying to draw a line in the dirt here. But neither side able to make progress in towards the... We're starting to cut the map in half. Carriers are in production right now, but carriers might be a little bit premature. Special doing critical damage. And by critical, let's look at MaxPax's probe count. Not critical damage. I lied. It was decent, but definitely not game-ending. Wow, the tank line throughout the entire map. The scan allows him to pick up, but he can't take out the missile turrets. The tanks, though. Thor's hitting the tanks in the air as they're lifted by the Phoenixes, of which Astrea left one for high ground vision. I wonder if at this point they're sharing control, though that could go very wrong very quickly. The tank lines, you can see, drawn across the map. I don't know what that was. Astrea, what is his army? 24 Phoenixes. 4 Thors for special. Oh, those Phoenix, we gotta get the tanks! Yeah, there's so many Phoenixes easily killing the tanks. The carriers have arrived, though. So now it gets weird. Because I guess you can target, but do you even want to target them? I think you want to kill the interceptors. Yeah, like the interceptors die pretty easy. And then they have to rebuild, and also that's kind of dead supply. Yeah, the interceptor count is dwindling. The Thors will help out a lot. Here come the carriers of Astrea, which are going to suffer from the same issues. Oh my god, MaxPax's Phoenixes. Meanwhile, there's damage happening on the other side, but really the action is here. Interceptors are not surviving this battle. The interceptors, any that have the audacity to leave the carrier, are immediately killed. That Widow mine. Wait, that's Special's mine. Dealt with. Turrets and pylons, and meanwhile, though, the tanks of Special getting driven back. Thors, more tanks. The Thor's terrestrially bound. Do you pick up the tanks? He picks up the tanks. Immediately drop down again. Special struggling to close the distance. The tank line is too thick. What is the upgrade? It's 2-2 for Special, but his units are just not in a great spot. Astrea has less carriers and less Phoenixes. His upgrades are even. The carrier micro, though, the interceptor count, as they're both chewing away at the carriers of each other. The interceptors are better for Astrea, but it looks like the carrier battle will... Ah, it's a mess. Oh, the target fire is actually quite difficult. MaxPax wins the air war for now. The Thors are on their way back. A single Thor is blasting apart. I don't think Astrea can warp in. And also, you can't lift a Thor. How many gateways does he have? 1, which is not very... He doesn't even have warp gate. There's no warp gate in this game. It's just mech on either side. Warp gate does not exist. The Thor blasts apart the Nexus on its own. +3/+3. It looks like once again the Protoss are going to exhaust themselves in the air while the Terrans battle it out on the ground. Thing is, MaxPax seems to have won the air battle. A strenuous... We've seen 75 Phoenixes lost from Astrea. I think the carrier count might be just 2. Yeah, Special taps it out. Astrea's still gonna fight. Astrea not as convinced. That happens sometimes. Well, all tied up. Team Kelazhur takes this one with the straight up Phoenix battle. It seems, not particularly unexpectedly, the end game is the carrier count. But the process of getting there is... It's a lot. There's a lot in the... There's a lot happening. I'm used to 2 pro gamers. 4 is almost twice as much. So, forgive me for my inability to stay on par with them. Well, Jimmy, can we go to game? Oh my god. All right. Of course, they changed colors again just to make it more confusing. Special is now purple. Astrea maintains red. We're on Nightscape, which is... It looks very cool, but also very kind of like a weird fog shader that hurts my eyes after some time. And now you can't unsee it either. If you want to drown out Shiva desperately asking for attention, make sure to give me a PogChamp in the chat. And, of course, a Winter Love. So... Can I get some of those big poggers in the chat? Gentle people. If you know what I mean. Yeah. It's very important we maximize the count. The probe coming in past the Zergling statue. We got rid of the Zerg. That's what they used to look like. Some expand. It looks like both sides calming down a little. Now, I want to point out here on Nightscape, there's a pocket gold. A pocket gold that's pretty exposed from the air, which does give it some significant weaknesses, and also there's a set of rocks. But Terran players need not worry too much about that. We'll have to see where so I don't know how much these players have played 2v2. Obviously, they made it this far. And it's pretty clear they have some experience at the endgame unit compositions. I just don't know how much they played the maps. We'll have to see. I expect that base to be taken relatively quickly. Okay. Astrea's probe. Special's Reaper. Sir? Sir, you're on the other side. Mr. Astrea, sir? You're on the other side. You know. Just in case you didn't notice, you're on the other side of the map. You're on the other team's side. That's a gateway. I think we're not going without Warp Gate in this match, but MaxPax might not have gotten the memo here. He is now building Phoenixes. Oh no! You had one job! Close the door, Kelazhur. Well, actually... Wait, where's the Phoenix going? Meanwhile, this is getting a little confusing. The Reapers in the main, getting chased... Wait, whose Adepts are those? Astrea's Adepts. Is that Specials? The Specials Hellion. So... Astrea's doing a proxy gate into third base. It appears his counter to... Oh, what did we kill here? I think a Hellion went down to a random Widowmine from Special. Okay, they're the same. They're the same person. I'm looking at them like they're two different... Oh, that's a lot of Adepts from Astrea. Astrea expanding and attacking. Proving you can do it all. And then the Phoenixes will show up and kill some of the Adepts. Proving that maybe you shouldn't. He should have left immediately after showing the shade. But just kind of losing 3 Adepts for free. So Astrea now, 49 probes, 50 probes to 40 probes of MaxPax. He's building double Stargate, so he's not giving up the air war entirely. It's just going to be very difficult to catch up with a Protoss who already has 7 Phoenixes when you have 0. Especially if you both have 2 Stargates. Like, I'm not a mathematician, but that does seem difficult. A recall. Pretty solid recall there. Astrea brings the Adepts back to his third. Immediate Fleet Beacon and third Stargate. So MaxPax will... He will have control of the situation. Wait, whose SCV is this? Oh, Special is going to build some turrets, it looks like. The Cyclone Special comes in to protect Astrea, while Astrea builds up the correct composition. Fleet Beacon for MaxPax. Meanwhile, Adepts finding another opportunity. Slipping and sliding past. A pretty solid split there, looking for even more. Adepts picked up the worker count right now. Astrea at 66, Team Kelazhur 44 and 45, respectively. It looks like the gold base has been spotted. Team America did not notice or did not care. But they are currently not worried. I expect Astrea's Phoenixes or something like that will fly over, and then they'll realize, oh my. Gateway is dealt with. Phoenix range on the way for MaxPax, but Astrea's skipping to carriers. How many Phoenixes? 0. Astrea has no units, straight to carriers. He's that guy, all right? He's like, what's your strat? Carriers. Like, what else? Carriers. The missile turret helping out. Astrea losing a bunch of probes, but already taking a 4th, and Special setting it up with some hand-delivered missile turrets as well. Two more factories from Kelazhur and from Special, as we are going to have that Mech Terran versus Sky Taw's battle again. The full mech on both sides. Whatever is the most supply-efficient armies. The carriers have arrived. Shield battery overcharge doesn't really help the interceptors. The Phoenix count is so damn high. A couple Cyclones from Kelazhur looking for an opportunity. Meanwhile, carriers kind of out on their lonesome. The ranged Phoenix is chewing through one. The Viking count looking to flank the Dane. 4 carriers at a time for Astrea, 4 Phoenixes for MaxPax, who's keeping the carrier count low enough that there is not yet a critical mass. MaxPax back at only 57 probes. Astrea up to 78. Has not stopped on those 4 bases. Special 65 on the worker count, and Kelazhur at 66. Cyclone's coming up, but that's all Kelazhur has right now. They finally discovered. Let's see.
Our allies' base is threatened. Mineral field depleted.
Astrea finding inspiration.
Our allies are being.
All right, special. We gotta check all the players now. Special with generic. Astrea with Diva. Kelazhur.
Add-on complete.
Kelazhur with default. And MaxPax. Default as well. How boring. Only Astrea feeling the inspiration right now. Well, and that's why Astrea is such a macro god. 88 probes, and he's stopping at that 4 base saturation. Plus 2 air weapons. The air battle has escalated, but Team America, with their economic focus here, has ended up in a pretty comfortable spot. The classic, you can't kill as many probes as I can build strategy. A risky one. Oh my god, he just slingshot his interceptors. He is activating his interceptors so he gets a critical mass, hopefully, out by attacking his own Nexus. So that way they're not picked off one by one. You'd love to see it. I don't know how effective it is at this moment. It's not like the Phoenixes are going to kill the Nexus. He's re-shielding his Nexus in order to slingshot his interceptors out. But unfortunately, at the end of the day, MaxPax has just too goddamn many Phoenixes. The interceptor count down to less than the carrier count, at least for a moment there, which is not ideal. Oh, the Whittle Mines picked off the Hell Clone armies. Oh, Phoenixes sidling up, looking for something to pick up and knock down. Find an opportunity. And without a matching set of Phoenixes from Astrea, MaxPax has the run of the place for now. Though Astrea is very focused. The cannons for everyone. So far, just the map itself is quite large. It is difficult to commit, especially your ground army, to any one side in particular without leaving other bases open. And both sides have kind of become comfortable with this high economy situation. It's kind of a ridiculous amount of income. We're at nearly 3K income right now for at least one player on either side. 3K is a solid 3+ bases mining. The only player struggling is Special, who keeps getting his bases ransacked by Phoenixes. A few mules will hopefully fix that. The Cyclones battling Vikings in the air, but chased down by 2 very viable anti-air options. The production tab is full of all the fanciest upgrades and units. Corvid Reactor, Thors +2, more Whittle Mines for Kelazhur. Oracle, Tempest, another Cybercore +2 air for MaxPax. We had, well, siege tanks and Hellions. So not that complicated out of Special, but a mothership coming in for Astrea. Scan spots the Phoenixes that are looking for an opportunity. A single Valley is not enough to justify committing the Phoenixes, but if the Tempest, with the Oracle Revelation, the Tempest can maybe pick off some of the carriers, which is ostensibly their design. Oh, the Cyclone's showing up, getting a lock on, but not quite in time. Hellions looking to chase. Phoenix is ransacking Astrea's gold base. The SCVs are pulled. Whoa, the Planetary finding kills. The Planetary knocking out half a dozen Cyclones. The carriers just obliterate MaxPax's attempt. Wait, what was that? It doesn't matter now, it's gone. Whittle Mines dot the field. Sensor towers as well. Outlining it. Oof. Widowmine's cutting into that intercept. 133 interceptor, but the Tempest raining fire into the carriers. There are Thors from Special. I take it back. There are no Thors, actually. He doesn't even have that much anti-air. It's just carriers. But the volleys of Tempest fire cutting into everything. There's very limited, like, small anti-air here. The Viking count, the Cyclone count, so low. The Tempest, he just recalls. He's out of there. He recalls, but to the mothership. A total recall. What a play to outflank the Thors. And the Thors are no match for this magnitude of carriers. Kelazhur forced to retreat. The Tempest recalled back to the base nearby. Recalls on either side. Tactical jumping armies. He can use the tactical recall now, unless he actually wants to fight this out, which could be a disaster for Astrea. The army scan. Interference matrix. The recall finally, but he's only going to get a handful of carriers back. 6-7 carriers. The constant scans from both sides to see if anything was happening in the middle of the map. Astrea? Well, he's building 5 more carriers and 3 Void Rays. MaxPax and 6 Void Rays and Tectonic Destabilizers to make sure those Tempests can actually get something done. Special is adding some Thors into the mix. Kind of a better late than never situation. He's been struggling to mine. Team Kelazhur is nearly maxed. Astrea building a mothership at the most unfortunate possible base. I'd probably just cancel that and look somewhere else at this stage. The probes are running. Meanwhile, the Terrans flirting with each other in the center of the map. The Void Rays are burning. A handful of Vikings show up to the party and actually draw the attention of MaxPax, which may help turn the tides a little here. Still a lot of Void Ray special. The Thor comes waddling up and knocks most of the Phoenixes out. The carriers have been eliminated from Astrea, but he has the Void Rays and with the Thor support. Meanwhile, Thors from Kelazhur. Tempest as well. The tank line from Special runs deep enough to discourage. What's the Thor count? We got 7 to 10. Kelazhur in the lead. The upgrades, not that important right now. All right. Well, they're blasted at each other. The Tempest, technically a counter to the carriers, but the Thor is doing a number on him. And the lack of siege tanks here, just blasts apart a carrier. The Void... Wait, whose Void Rays are those? Astrea. Astrea burning into the gold. Wait, MaxPax shows up. Those are... Hey, wait a second. Going over the minefield, though. Somehow Astrea has taken this base. Nearly maxed out on both sides. Still flying back through the minefield that hasn't quite recharged. Special. Punching his way forward with one of the clunkiest mech armies. The mothership has arrived. Kelazhur should be able to provide enough scans. Snipes off another carrier. Tempest looking for an opportunity. The Thor's not really able to close the distance, but when they do get hits off, they're more than enough for the Tempest. Kelazhur needs to provide some support. The constant scans are not cutting it. There needs to be some army here. I mean, I guess the Tempests are enough to drive this back for now, but there's no other objective. They're moving their way down to the bottom right of the map. The Tempest zoned out. Here comes the Terran armies. Anti-armor missile, triple scramble. No anti-armor, though. The orbital just burned to a crisp. Void Rays melting the Thors that are in high impact mode. They don't have the splash damage, and now they're regretting it. The beams prismatically aligned. But here comes Astrea, the North American Sky Toss, looking for the opportunity to strike back, melting some of the bases. The Thors must be repaired, and the Sky Toss armies, honestly, that's the Terran's job as well. The Protoss lost that technology too long ago. The Void Rays being chased. More Void Rays added in. Thors coming from Kelazhur, taking their sweet time about it. Revelation. Did he get a tag? He got a tag on him. The Tempest shelling from afar. It doesn't get further range than that. More Thors on deck. Special looking to reinforce. The Thor count in favor of Kelazhur. 12 to 9. The tanks have been reset. The Void Rays 12-10 right now in Void Ray Tempest against 7 and 8, but a mothership for Astrea. And Team America does seem to be mining slightly more, as they've been able to establish their entire half of the map. Oh, the Oracle got a revelation, but we'll get nothing else. The mothership is heading north. Wait, can you recall the Terran army? You can't recall your teammate's army. I'm 95% sure of that. He's going off the grid, or onto the grid. Wherever this is, there's a grid. Void Ray's looking for another orbital. Find some more Void Rays. The Flux Veins not going to be enough to save them. Meanwhile, though, some of the Thors might want to consider using a few in splash damage mode. The Tempest chasing. The Terran armies are closing in. Where's that mothership? The mothership, is it worth it? He recalls the mama ship back home, I think. Which, I mean, probably could have just flown there. Probably didn't realize he was recalling to that Nexus. So it's still going to be a time before the mothership can participate in the group activity. The Tempest unleashing whatever they have on either side. The armies are maxed. The lines are drawn, and the battle is joined for all the marbles, minerals, and gas. First, the Widow Mines finding connections. Team Kelazhur driven back. The mothership eating a volley. A second volley. The Dorito dusting from Juanito doing critical damage and forcing the armies back. Time warps on it. Two time warps from the mothership. Special, the Thors are doing terrible, terrible damage. We're just gonna have to see who comes out on top, as there are shield batteries as well helping out the Tempest. The Thors trying to blast through. Tank sieging. Not really able to get into the fray. Shield battery overcharge might still be online, but Special's Terran army is making not quick, but decisive work. Astrea and MaxPax have been mostly swept from the skies. Special maintains 200 supply. He's also got 65 workers. Kelazhur actually has 84 SCVs, so his army's even smaller than you'd expect. This is he's worker rushing. We're worker rushing now, as there's only so many bases to mine from. Team America won the battle. Warping in Zealots. Zealots with no upgrades. +1 shields to fight the probes. Team Kelazhur doing their best to hold the line, but Astrea and Special have pushed it all the way back. One more fight could go over the edge. The Venn dia scans. It's unclear exactly. Okay, scans from either side. The anti-air isn't quite there. Some free siege tanks. There's no such thing as free siege tanks. In this case, maybe. Anti-armor missile could be incredibly helpful. Gotta remember those Ravens. MaxPax has 7 probes. I don't know how this keeps happening, but MaxPax is down to 7 probes, which is not the ideal number. Special and Astrea. The minerals on the entire map are starting to mine out, as both teams have been quite adamant about it. 6 Tempests on the way for Astrea. Neither side with a bank. Neither side. No one's maxed. No one can max. Not even Pax. Of course, Kelazhur could potentially feed MaxPax money, so he's not dead in the water right now. I think that may be what he's doing, because MaxPax still has some money. And at this point, building probes is probably not worth it. Well, Team America doesn't want to stress it. The 2 Ravens are a big deal. They've got nearly full energy. There are no Tempests. Not Tempests. There are no Ghosts. There are no Templar. The Void Rays. The warping in Stalkers. It's a little late for that. They melt immediately. Now here come the Ravens. Kelazhur. Kelazhur! No! The Ravens! Did he get an anti? No, he got nothing. The Ravens were kind of an important part of all this. And no interference matrices. No nothing. The Void Rays burn through. Astrea starting to run lower on probes. MaxPax, 6 probes now. Pushed back. At some point, you gotta fight. And this is it. The Tempest blasting each other apart. The Thors contributing significant, potentially game-winning damage from special. The Void Rays are doing a surgical base trade when a sledgehammer is required. I mean, there's a non-zero chance of a draw. Kelazhur is still mining for what it's worth. Not that much. Everett, we're running out. Like, there's so many orbitals. There's not that many minerals left. Oh, the Tempest, though, catching the Thors in a choke point, but enough of them are close enough. The Tempest count is actually in favor of Astrea. No Thors left. It's just the 8 Void Rays are the only kicker here. 7 Void Rays. That one Widow Mine. Oh no. The boys are pulled for special. Wait, no, that was Kelazhur's Widow Mine. The boys are pulled for repair of the Tempest and the Thors. That's it. He lights up the Void Rays. That's all they've got. Knocked out of the sky and out of the match. Special and Astrea maintain control. And with it, bludgeon Team Kelazhur, grinding them down until there's nothing left. Well, there's your 2v2 guide and excitement. I hope you enjoyed. Shout out to Wardy for putting it on. And you for watching. Why no Zerg? Is this the way to play, or do you know better? Which team had the coolest name? And so much more. Leave a comment, like, subscribe, ring the bell. And that's it. Thank you for watching. Good luck, have fun. Stay chill.